One of the main features of Greene furniture is in the ebony details. We're going to show you how we added these details in several videos. The Gamble House dining room chairs don't have horizontal ebony bars, but they do appear in their living room furniture. This is a major part of our dining room chair backsplat design. This video covers shaping the ebony bar stock, a new trick to shaping the crown. I did a bit of research on how the Gamble House style ebony bars are made, and I couldn't find a lot of information out there. The bars are made from two pieces of ebony that are sandwiched together into the backsplat, both from the front and the back meeting in the center. We're using Gabon ebony, which is almost jet black, with a few lighter streaks of tan or brown in it. This is the preferred ebony for our detail work. Macassar ebony could also be used, but it has a little bit more of a brown cast to it and not so much black. As a less expensive and non-rainforest option, walnut or oak that's been ebonized with iron and a vinegar solution could be substituted. There's a great article on ebonizing wood on Popular Woodworking. You'll find the link for that and all of the main tools and supplies to use in this video at the end of the video description below. Although ebony is very dense wood, care needs to be taken to ensure it's not cut with the end grain as the showing face. We want the grain of the ebony to run the length of the ebony bars just as with any other wood surface. So it's pretty obvious what is the length of the bar and which is the end grain, even though it is really dark wood. Our ebony is coated with a thick wax that's used in the curing and drying process to prevent cracks and to keep it stable. That just gets scraped away before we're using the wood. I've decided to cut the depth of the bar from my stock first. This is a piece that I've cut away. I've already cut one end off of it, but you can see where it attaches on to where it would have come out of this piece. So I cut the depth from front to back on the backsplat, and that depth would be 1/2 of the thickness of the backsplat, plus about 3/16 of an inch to allow for the profiling crown of each of the ebony bars. I'll save any leftover scrap, perhaps for bar plugs for a future project. Daryl Peart in his book says to use a 1-inch router bit to get the rounded edges on the long bars. And that'll give it a 1/2-inch radius. I don't have that bit, so I decided I would try a different method of making some sanding blocks that have a 1-inch radius. And what I did was I took a Forstner bit, drilled down into this block of maple. Then I took it over to my table saw where I put it on a sled and cut out this block. So I now have 2 sanding blocks essentially that I can lay down on my work surface and simply run my ebony bars across, which have already been planed down. So I shouldn't have to use too heavy of a grit, except for I want to take these edges off. The profile that's going to take off is just a very slight angle, that 1/2-inch radius, giving it just a slight pillowing to the rod. The good thing about it is, if I just drag this across evenly, I'll be able to tell when my sanding is down to what it needs to be, because it'll create a nice curve in here. So what I've got is some 100 grit sandpaper, and I'll just spray some of that on with some adhesive into one of these 2 cups. They're both going to be the same angle no matter where I hold the rod. If I'm over here, I still have that same arc, or over here. Doesn't matter, either one is going to produce that same 1/2-inch radius. So all I need here is a small little piece that'll fit in that cup, like that. And that'll be long enough. A little bit of adhesive, just a light touch of it is all I need. I'll put that into this little tray. Now I've got a 1 inch or a 1/2 inch radius sanding block. And I've marked the inside that I'm going to be gluing, so this is my face. And I can simply just either take it along the whole length, like that, or I can use it more like a plane, except that it's not going to touch it. So that won't work. Didn't make it quite shallow enough to hang down to the edge unless I had this raised. In the end, I decided that raising it up on a piece of wood like this was the best solution. So I'll just continue with this. You can see where it's got 2 marks, 1 on each edge, where it's taking this down. The profile I'll end up with, you can see how quickly it's coming down. I'm going to put just a small round over on it. So I'll know when I'm done because there's a shiny raised edge in the center that will be all sanded down. Can't quite see the end profile because I'm not sanding on that part, but so now you can see the profile. It's just enough to give it a small arc. There we go. The stick is profiled down to this far at this point and all curved. I'll continue that with the rest of the stick and then I'll cut these to length and drill my holes in for the silver.